History isn't just a collection of dates. It's a series of choices. To understand why January 27th is marked on calendars worldwide, we have to look at how a civilized society can lose its way. Before the liberation, before the camps, there was a slow, quiet decay of humanity. Let's go back to 1918. World War I ends, and Germany is crushed. The Treaty of Versailles didn't just end the war, it humiliated a nation. When people are desperate, they look for someone to blame. An ancient poison, anti-Semitism, provided an easy target. By 1933, the Nazi Party turned that anger into a weapon. They didn't seize power, they were voted in. They used radio and newspapers to spread a terrifying lie, that Germans were a master race and Jews were the enemy within. It started with words. A ban on government jobs here. A school restriction there. Then came 1935 and the Nuremberg laws. In an instant, Jewish people were stripped of their citizenship. They weren't neighbors anymore, they were subjects. Cruelty became the law. Ordinary people, doctors, lawyers, and clerks, simply looked away. In 1938, the violence turned open with Kristallnacht. The night of broken glass. Synagogues burned, and thousands were arrested for the crime of existing. By 1939, the world was at war. As Germany invaded Poland, the cruelty scaled up. Millions were trapped in ghettos, crowded, starving neighborhoods where survival was a daily miracle. But for the Nazis, this wasn't enough. In 1942, at the Wannsee Conference, high-ranking officials met to organize the final solution. This wasn't a military plan, it was a bureaucratic manual for mass murder. The center of this nightmare was Auschwitz-Birkenau. It was a factory of death. On the arrival platform, a flick of an officer's wrist decided everything. To the left, forced labor. To the right, the gas chambers. 6 million Jews were murdered. But we also remember the 1.1 million who died at Auschwitz alone, including Roma and Sinti people, Polish civilians, Soviet prisoners, and people with disabilities. By late 1944, the Nazis knew they were losing. To hide their crimes, they forced starving prisoners onto death marches through the freezing snow. Thousands died in the mud, holding on to the hope of a freedom they could almost see. On January 27, 1945, the Soviet Red Army arrived at the gates of Auschwitz. What they found changed the world's conscience forever. 7,000 survivors, looking like walking skeletons. The soldiers found mountains of human hair. Piles of shoes. Suitcases with names and addresses carefully written on them, reminders of families who thought they were coming home. It was the evidence of a crime so large, the world had to invent a new word for it, genocide. In 2005, the UN named this day International Holocaust Remembrance Day. We remember not just to honor the dead, but to watch for the warning signs in the living. The Holocaust didn't start with gas chambers. It started with silence. It started when people stopped caring about their neighbors. January 27th is a reminder, never again is not a slogan. It is a choice we have to make every single day.